Two AI models are at war in every comment section right now: Claude Fable 5 and ChatGPT's GPT 5.6 Soul. Everyone has a favorite, and almost none of them actually tested both. So I did something different. I took 5 real tasks, wrote one prompt for each, word for word, and gave the exact same prompt to both models. No cherry picking, no do overs. Then I stripped the names off. What you are about to see is a blind taste test. Two answers every round, labeled only A and B. You will not know which model wrote which, and neither did I when I first read them. Your only job is to pick the one that is actually better and keep score in your head. Because at the end, the reveal flips almost everything people believe about these two, and it hands you something far more useful than a winner. A simple way to know for your task which one to open. Let's taste. First, the rules, because a comparison is only honest if the rules are. Every prompt went to both models exactly once, as a single shot, no follow ups, and no second chances. The same way you would actually use them. Fable ran as Anthropic's top model, Soul as OpenAI's flagship. And every answer I could check by machine, I did. The coding rounds were run against automated tests, hundreds of them. So, correctness here is not my opinion, it is a pass or a fail. Now, here is the belief we are putting on trial. One developer summed up the whole internet stake like this: Claude is the artist, it gets things done, and even builds what you did not ask for, but it leaves gaps. GPT is the engineer. It does exactly what you asked, nothing more, and quietly spots the artist's mistakes. It is a great line. By the end of these 5 rounds, you will see it is only half true, and the half that is wrong is the useful part. Round 1. Round 1, a subtle bug. I gave both models the same broken cache. It is the kind of code that looks fine and passes the easy tests, but quietly throws out the wrong thing under real use. The task? Find the bug, explain it, and fix it without rewriting everything. Here is answer A, and here is answer B. Take a second. Which one actually understands the problem? Here is the truth. Both of them nailed it. Same root cause. Reading an item did not count as using it. So the wrong entry got evicted. Same clean fix. And I did not take their word for it. I ran both fixes through 300 randomized test sequences against a known correct version, and both passed every single one. So round 1 is a tie on correctness, but look closer at the difference. One answer just hands you the fix. The other stops to teach you, and even shows you the exact sequence that triggers the bug. Hold that thread because it comes back. Round 2, speed and design. Same single prompt to both. Build me a complete habit tracker, one file, works on a phone, and looks like something you would actually use. One shot. Here is A, here is B, and this is where you feel the difference, not just read it. Both of them work. I loaded each one in a real browser. Add a habit, mark a day, refresh the page, and the data is still there. Zero errors, and no broken layout on a phone screen. Functionally, a tie again. But look at what each one chose to build. One delivered a tight, focused, dark app. Exactly what was asked. Nothing extra. The other went further than the prompt. It named the product, wrote itself a tagline, added a best streak stat and little coaching notes, a whole designed experience. Neither is wrong. One respected the spec. The other showed ambition you did not ask for. Remember that artist versus engineer line? Keep watching, because it is about to do something strange. Quick pause, and I am putting it right here on purpose. You have been judging these blind, building a favorite in your head. The next reveal is the one that surprised me most, and it breaks the rule everyone repeats about these two. If you want the reveal on every new model that drops, that is the whole channel. On YouTube, subscribing is free. On Facebook, the subscribe button is the supporter button, and that is what keeps this going. Do the free thing, then watch it flip. Round 3, messy code you have to maintain. I handed both the same tangled function. Cryptic names, duplication. The kind of thing you inherit and dread. Clean it up, keep the exact same behavior, no surprises. Here is A and here is B. Both refactors are clean, and I proved they are safe. I ran the original and each rewrite against 2000 random inputs and compared every single result. Identical, every time. So both preserved behavior perfectly, but their instincts split. One played it safe, renamed things, added a comment, changed as little as possible. The other went bolder. It modernized the whole thing, pulled out helper functions, used newer language features, and left you code that genuinely reads beautifully. One minimized risk, the other maximized clarity. And now, here is the twist I promised. In the coding rounds, the bold one, the artist adding extra polish, was Fable. But back in the design round, the one that named the app and wrote the tagline, the ambitious one there, was Soul. The roles just swapped. Round 4, the one that is pure feel. Writing. Same prompt to both. Write a short scene, two estranged siblings clearing out their late mother's house, and make us realize, without ever saying it, that one of them quietly took her money while she was dying. All subtext, nothing stated. Here is A, here is B. Read them slowly, because this is the real taste test. And this round has no automated check, because there is no unit test for a gut punch. So you tell me. One of them lets it land through a checkbook register and handwriting that slowly stops being hers. The other through circled bank withdrawals and a single line that stays with you. She could not hold a spoon. Here is what I will say. The internet insists one of these models is the writer, and the other one cannot come close. Read those two scenes again and try to pick the amateur. You cannot. On the very thing everyone is most sure about, it was a coin flip. Round 5, and this one I designed to catch Fable failing. All over Reddit, people say Claude's newest model is useless for anything touching biology or health, that it refuses or quietly downgrades itself the moment you get near the topic. So I asked both the same real question a high schooler might ask. How does the malaria parasite actually move between people? If the horror stories were the whole truth, Fable should have flinched. It did not. It answered in full accurately, start to finish, and so did Soul. Now, to be fair to the story, the guardrail is real. Anthropic documents it. On certain flag topics, Fable can hand off to an older model, and on their own numbers, that is under 5% of sessions, but real, and it refuses science, are two very different claims. The honest version is this: a straightforward learning question, sailed right through, and the caution only bites at the edges. That gap between what people repeat and what actually happens is the entire reason you test things yourself. So let's add it up honestly. 5 rounds. On raw correctness, it was basically even. Both fixed the bug, both refactored safely, both shipped a working app, both wrote beautifully, and both answered the science. If you came for a knockout, there is not one. And anyone selling you a knockout is selling you something. But the difference that does matter is the one you already felt. These models have personalities, they are just not glued to a logo. Fable was the bold one on code and the minimalist on design. Soul was the minimalist on code and the bold one on design. The artist and the engineer are not two companies, they are two modes, and each model slips between them depending on the task. Which means the useful question was never which model is better. It is which one fits the job in front of you. On the two things we can measure flat out. Soul costs about half as much per token, and Fable gives you a 1 million token context to work inside. Everything else you match to the task. Here is the cheat sheet. Keep this simple map. Reach for Fable when the problem is deep and gnarly. A nasty bug, a big migration, a long job you want it to grind on and check its own work. Developers reported one-shotting things other models had failed at 16 times. Reach for Soul when you want speed, polish, and a front end that looks designed. Or when the bill matters. Because at half the price, it is the easy default for high volume. For a refactor, pick your temperament. Fable, if you want modern and clean. Soul, if you want the smallest, safest change. For writing, honestly, flip a coin. Then keep whichever voice you like better. And for anything near health, biology, or security, Soul is the safer default, only because Fable might hand off at the edges. But here is the move almost nobody makes: use both. One developer put it perfectly: stop picking a favorite and going all in. That is either a sponsorship or a mistake. Use the best model for each task and let them check each other's work. That is not a compromise. That is the actual pro move. That is the whole test, not a winner, a way to choose. Now, our team is building the next one of these head to heads, and you get to pick the matchup. Comment the two tools you want me to run blind next, and the most liked ones jump straight to the front of the line. So tell me what to test. I also turned this entire test into a free kit: the exact 5 prompts, the automated checks I ran, and that pick by task cheat sheet. So you can run your own blind test on any two models. Comment the word pick, and I will send it straight to you, or grab it at hyperautomationlabs.co/free/pick. And if you want to go further, the beginner guides linked below will get you building with these models fast. If this saved you from an all day argument in the comments, do the free thing back. Subscribe here on YouTube and follow Hyper Automation Labs on Facebook and Instagram, because the next blind test is already loading.